Hi, I'm Katie. I'm writing a book, and I don't really know what I want to talk about, but yesterday was my birthday. Today's May 22nd, so yesterday was May 21st, and it was my 27th birthday. It was great. Had a totally great day. Took today off work, and then tomorrow's Saturday, Sunday, Monday is Memorial Day, and then I took Tuesday and Wednesday off of work. So I originally planned to take a week off of work to basically do like a week of, if I didn't have a full-time job, well, not necessarily that I don't have a full-time job, but if writing my book or writing or being an artist was my regular job. That has kind of not gone to plan so far. I knew that my actual birthday wouldn't go that way because I had things planned. It's also my mom's birthday, so that wasn't gonna be a normal day anyway. But I was really hoping that today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, would be that way, which I guess the rest of the days still could, but I don't know. I've just been so in my head about it, and one of the worst parts is, which today I feel a lot better, but I've had poison oak or poison ivy or a combination of the two since, I don't know, this time last week, maybe almost a week and a half ago. It's mostly cleared up now. It was here and here on my neck, and the back of my neck's really bad, and then it just kind of spread in random patches all over. So I've been super itchy, and I've been taking a steroid, which is just, it just makes me not feel normal. So I just, not ideal. And today, I really haven't done a whole lot of anything. Did the laundry, cleaned the house. Didn't really have that much to do because I did a lot of that yesterday. So it was just basically the stuff from yesterday to kind of pick up and clean up and whatever. And Jacob came home early from work today because they just had an early day or whatever. So that was different, but I mean, not really crazy. And I don't know. I've just all day been avoiding sitting down and writing, even though the plan was always take a week off for my birthday to write. And it just blows my mind how I can plan that. I've planned that for a couple months now. And it comes around, and I'm like, wow, okay, I've got a week off of work. This is awesome. And I'm just like, no. Don't sit in the chair. Don't turn the computer on. Just lay on the couch. And it would be different if I was just laying on the couch, resting, watching stuff, catching up on stuff I wanted to watch. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just scrolling on my phone, which is the worst thing for me. And probably everybody else. But it just blows my mind how I can plan this. And I'm like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be awesome. And then it comes and I'm just so resistant to it. Crazy resistant to it. And it's really frustrating because I can feel it happening. I know it's happening. And yet, I don't push through it. I'm just like, yep, that's that. What? So I come in here and I'm watching YouTube videos because I've got my desktop computer in front of me, so behind you, and then I have my laptop over here to the side that I watch YouTube or whatever, usually YouTube. So I've got the YouTube video up, I'm watching the YouTube video, I'm reading the last couple paragraphs of what I wrote, which was on May 15th, so a week ago. I wrote 983 words, which is decent. I'm not mad at that. But why am I sitting here thinking, okay, time to write, and I'm just not writing? And I've just been doing this song and dance with myself for years at this point. I mean, literally years. Like, in March, I'm pretty sure March of last year, I decided, okay, I'm going to start kind of documenting the process. I'm going to start holding myself accountable in a way that is kind of public. Like, it's not kind of, I mean, it is. But, like, it's not like a viral sensation. Okay, it's more so like a handful of my friends watch these videos. But that was over a year ago now. And I have not made the kind of substantial progress that I want to make, that I would have expected to make, or anything. You know, it's just feels like I get to a certain point and I'm just, nope, not gonna do that anymore. No, can't do it. No. And for what? For what? And, like, I know there's probably, like, a reason, like, trauma, child, like, whatever. But, like, I'm 27. Get over it. I don't know. Like, and I also get the argument, you know, be kind to yourself, you know, give yourself some grace. And I agree with that. I do. But when's the cutoff? It's been over a year since I started making a concerted public effort to make my dream come true. And here I am, over a year later, the dream hasn't come true, which is fine. That's not the issue, because, I mean, the issue is I'm not doing the work to make the dream come true. Whenever it's all I talk about, it's all I think about. I don't know. I don't really know that I really have that much to say other than that, just over and over again. But I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Like, a lot of YouTube videos. I've always been a YouTube kind of girl. And my favorite kind of videos to watch are writers, usually. But not always. Sometimes just, like, people who talk. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say, like, bloggers, because I don't really... Well, whatever. I like watching people vlog in the sense that their vlog is more so just them talking aimlessly for like an hour. Almost podcast style, but not not that serious. I don't know. I watch one guy. His name is Peter Mon, and he does Peter vlogs. I've been watching Peter since I was in high school. I think he's been on YouTube almost 10 years or just over 10 years. I've been watching him for the past 9.5 years. So I watch a lot of his videos. He's got 8 channels and one of them is a vlog. That's the point. And he just sits on his porch or, you know, wherever, usually on his porch, and he just talks for like an hour. Sometimes they're like 3 hours long. And it's just him talking. Like, he's by himself. He might have like his dogs or whatever, or his neighbors might come by or whatever. But like, it's just him talking. And that is my favorite kind of video. Hands down. And I don't really have a reason why. But when I watch them, it doesn't have to be him. You know, anybody who just kind of talks at the camera is just enjoyable to me. So I just figured, why not? Let's just chat. And yeah, I don't know. It's my cat Summer. She's she's sweet, but she's clingy. I don't know. I just feel like talking is such a I almost just said talking's a good way to like talk things through. Wow, that's deep. No, but I think just kind of stream of consciousness thinking and just saying whatever comes to mind is really interesting to hear from other people, because, you know, whenever you get just lost in a conversation with your friends and, you know, you've been talking for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or multiple hours, and you just go from topic to topic to topic to topic, and like they're connected but not really, and sometimes you're just like, oh, this is totally not connected to what we were just talking about, but let's talk about this now. Those are my favorite conversations to have. So maybe I just need to be having them with myself more often. And maybe that would get me somewhere to where I need to be. Which is in line with pretty much everything I believe about myself. Like, I journal, not like I should. There was a really good stretch there where I was journaling daily for a little while, and then like almost daily for a long time, and then I think I've journaled probably 10 to maybe, I'll be generous and say 20 times in the last 6 months. And I can just tell that I'm not journaling in my day-to-day life. Like, I'm like, wow, I'm having a hard day. And sometimes I even think I should journal. Like, if I took 20, 30, 5 minutes to just write down a paragraph, a sentence, 2 sentences about my day, whatever I'm thinking, so I can just get it out of my brain and just somewhere else, then I know I'd feel better. And then I still don't do it. That's crazy behavior, is it not? I mean, there's crazier things you could do, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, how do you have thoughts of like, yes, I should do this thing. I really want to do this thing. This thing that I want to do is really good for me, and I can tell a significant difference in me, in my day-to-day, normal life, when I do this thing, and I like doing it, and I want to do it, but I'm not going to do it. Huh? What? Why? Like, what? What's not clocking to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know I'm not alone in this, because I've had conversations with people in my life that they're like, yeah, I do that too. Which makes me feel better. Because then I'm like, okay, I'm not just a weirdo freak who just doesn't do things that she wants to do. But, I don't know, it doesn't make me feel better enough. I guess. I don't know. Like, it makes me feel better, kind of like surface level. But I know what would actually make me feel better would just be doing what I want to do. Crazy. I mean, absolute crazy idea. I don't know, but I've been trying to stay off my phone as well, because that is something else that's really good for me. I will say that's a little different, because I'm not like, wow, it's my dream to be off my phone. I mean, I could say that, but that's not my dream, you know? So that's a little different. But I know that when I'm off my phone, I feel better. And now Summer, I don't look at her. She's crazy. She's crazy. She thinks she's a parrot. Okay, whatever. I don't know what I was saying. I could just see her. She looks so creepy. It was like a, what is that? Gargoyle? Well, now she's taking a bath up there. Anyway, I'm just thinking about this book that I'm trying to write, okay? If you don't know, which you probably don't, and that's okay. I'm writing a book, and it is book 1 of a series, which I already know is crazy. Why would you write a book series instead of just writing like one standalone book and then like building on the skill from there? Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I'm doing. That's what I want to do. So that's what I've latched onto, and that's what I'm doing. And that's what I want to do. That's really it. That's what I want to do. Okay, I'm over explaining. I'm writing this book. It's book 1 in a series about this girl. She's 14 years old in the first book, and it's going to be kind of like a year at a time-ish for each book. But she finds out that she has these powers. And the way I kind of slow down and talk about this is because I'm still figuring out a lot of the semantics of like the magic system. So that's why I'm kind of vague about that part. But she finds out she has these magic powers as she... Let me back up. Okay. I'm too focused on the magic part. That's chill. She finds these journals. They're like in her garage, of her great aunt who has passed away. And she's been reading through these journals, kind of not obsessed, but, you know, very interested in these journals and learning more about Mary. That's her name. And through that kind of search and like investigation of sorts, which she's not really investigating, she's just kind of picking up on things and like being curious, she finds herself in front of one of Mary's friends. They were close friends when they were younger, but they weren't friends when she died. And this woman, Ruth, becomes kind of like a mentor figure to her, also kind of like a motherly, grandmotherly figure. And the reason I say motherly / grandmotherly is because Ruth is only like in her 50s, but Myra, which is the main character, I don't think I said that, Myra, her mother is only 35, 36. So young mom. So to her, like, a woman in her 50s could be her grandmother, is what I'm getting at. But she finds herself in front of Ruth, Mary's friend. And so Myra's trying to get to know her, and Ruth basically is like, yep, here's a little bit, you know, because I mean, she's 50-some-year-old woman. She's not just gonna be like, yeah, here, 14-year-old girl, here's everything ever. But she's kind of giving her tidbits and sharing stories about Mary, and Myra's really into that, and she gets attached to Ruth, and Ruth basically becomes like her mentor in learning her magic, because Ruth and Myra had the same magic type. So in this system, there's 10 different types of magic that someone can have, and Myra and Ruth had the same one, which is different from what Mary's was and the other outside people. And so they go on this like training situation where Myra is spending a lot of time at Ruth's home learning about her powers, and her powers are plant and earth based. And when I say earth, I mean like dirt, roots, anything like plant adjacent. So they spend a lot of time doing that. But Myra is keeping not a secret, partially a secret. She is Myra's sister knows that Myra's going to this woman's house and is like spending a lot of time with this woman. But June, which is her sister, believes that they're just like it's just like a regular like family friend kind of dynamic, where Ruth is just talking to her a lot about Mary. She doesn't know about the magic and the powers and that whole thing. So Myra's keeping this secret from her sister. So that's another dynamic that's kind of at play here for Myra. And as she's dealing with all this, you know, she's struggling because I forgot to mention she doesn't have any parents. That's a whole nother thing. It's very important to the story, but just for explanation's sake. So she doesn't have any parents. She's being raised by her older sister, and her older sister's only 20, so she's basically still a kid herself. And she's having all these troubles, you know, because she's a 14-year-old girl without her parents, being raised by her older sister, finds out she has magic, and she's low-key really obsessed with this idea of Mary, and like learning more about Mary and figuring out why Mary did certain things, why she didn't do certain things, because Mary died after June was born, but before Myra was born. And Mary was, where am I going with this? Myra, okay, wait, I'm confusing myself. Mary was helping June and Myra's mom raise June. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. And so Myra's trying to figure all this stuff out, you know, like why did she do these things? Why did she not do certain things? How did that play into like how her mother is? Like she's trying to connect these dots because she doesn't have any way to process, to talk through these things, to figure out who she is, why she is the way she is, and why she doesn't feel like she has any family other than her sister, obviously. But you know, she's a 14-year-old girl. She doesn't really she doesn't really see her sister as like her family. No, that's not really what I mean. She sees her as family, like they're obviously sisters and they're very close, but she doesn't have like a mother or a father or a grandma or a grandpa. You know, she's just got her sister and she wants more family. She doesn't understand why she doesn't have more of her family in her life. And so she's trying to read these journals to learn more about Mary. Anyway, it takes her down this rabbit hole with Ruth, where Ruth is basically trying to mentor her and help her figure this out. And at some point in this book, okay, Myra has to, okay, here's where it gets fuzzy, okay? Myra is going to meet someone or something else that is like human-ish, but is creature-ish. And she has to decide, is this friend or foe? And that is going to set her on a path that is going to send her on a path where she has to make harder decisions, and harder consequences of her choices will happen based on whatever she decides. So in book 1, she's going to, you know, kind of the start is she finds out she's got these powers. She's hanging out with Ruth. She's keeping a secret from her sister. She's got friends. It's summertime. There's drama, but like that's kind of in the background. And then, so she finds out all that. She's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then around the climax of the novel, she's going to figure out, or not really figure out, but make a choice. Am I going to do this, or am I not going to do this? Which of course she's going to do it, because there's books planned. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a bigger picture. So she's going to say yes. She's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to basically step up. I'm going to make that decision. I'm going to be the person that's going to do this. Because basically Ruth's going to explain to her, you know, it doesn't have to be you, but if you'll do it, then it can be you. Basically, she's not the chosen one, but there is no chosen one. So she's deciding to take that role. So then that takes her through to kind of learning some more things about Mary specifically, because then Ruth's like, okay, let's get serious. Like we're training, but now you've made this commitment, so things are about to the stakes are raised. It's going up. And she's gonna have to, meet these creatures and decide friend or foe, and then that is going to go somewhere. Like, that's where I'm lost. I'm like in this fuzzy part where I can see start of book 1 to end of whole series. I can see that plain as day. What happens, how it ends, why it ends that way. I mean, obviously not all the details, but like big picture, I can see how we get from here to the end. And I can even see how we get from big reveal, not in book 1, but like a big series reveal to the end. I see that. But I'm like, what is our main driving force for Myra that is more tangible than just her like quest and need for knowledge about Mary? Like, why does she decide that she wants to be the chosen one? Why does she decide, yeah, I'm gonna do that? And why does she care? Like, how do I get her to care? I don't know. Like, I'm just, and I know that if I just sit down and write it it will come out. And I've tried to plot and outline, and I have, and like I've thought of things. I'm like, that could work. And then I'm like, ooh, I don't love that. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. That was not the best description I could have given for what the book's about, obviously, but I'm just talking. I'm just thinking out loud. Well, Summer is laying in that chair. You can't see her anymore, but yeah, I'm just thinking, like, what is pushing her? And I feel like it's so obvious. Like, in my head, I'm like, that's so obvious. It's because nobody's there for her, so she's like, why not me? Why not? But then I'm like, well, why would she think that? I don't know. And I'm not looking for advice. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know. But this goes back to what I was saying earlier. How, and I can see myself. You can probably tell because I keep looking at myself. Sorry. I'm not used to that. Whatever. I can see how worked up I get. How immersed I feel in this character, in these characters, in this world. I can physically see it. I can physically see myself, like, brightening up and talking fast, just being clearly passionate about it. And I can feel it too. But then I don't do it. It's crazy. It makes no sense to me. I don't know. I don't really know. It's weird. And it's really just like the cherry on top of, like, you want something so bad, but are you willing to work for it? And like, if somebody asked me that, like, if I was just in a casual conversation, which is like a friend, like not like a best friend or not an acquaintance, but just like a friend that's like knows me. And if they said to me, if I said, I'm writing this book, it's my dream to be an author and to write books. Like, that's my dream, is to have people read stories that I write and to love them the way I love them. And they said to me, in good faith or not, if they said to me, wow, that's a lot of hard work. Are you willing to work that hard? Them asking me that, in good faith or not, that would kind of burn me up a little. And I can't really totally pinpoint why, but to me, the thought of somebody else asking me if I'm willing to work hard for my dream is like so stupid that I'm like, duh, like, why would you even ask me that? That's so stupid. But objectively, I mean, it's fair. Like, am I willing to work that hard? And if you would ask me, I would say yes. I would say, yes, I'm willing to work that hard. So do it. Like, am I making sense here? Probably not, and that's fine. But if somebody legitimately asked me, are you, that's hard work. Are you willing to work that hard? Are you willing to put in the work? I would say yes. But why or how? How could I say yes if I'm not actually like putting my money where my mouth is kind of situation? Like, I'm not actually working hard. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not working at all. I'm not doing the work. I don't know. And I know I'm so in my head about it, and it probably doesn't help to just think about that and spiral about that, but I don't know. What else do? I could do like writing, like prompts, and I could do like poem a day kind of challenges and stuff, just to get like the writing muscle going. And I've tried that, and I enjoy doing that again, like, but I just don't do it. I don't know. And I know some people say, writing's a habit. You need to establish the habit, and like that, you can't just wait for the motivation to come around and strike, because, it's probably just not going to get done that way. And I agree with that. But I also don't, clearly, because I don't do that. I don't know. And I think a lot of it, too, is hard because I don't want to say I don't have anybody to talk to, because that's not true. Jacob, obviously, which is my husband, he would talk to me about this all day long. My friends, my best friends, they would talk to me about this all day long. You know, like, I have people I can talk to, but I don't have, like, fellow writer friends. Like, I'm sure I do. Like, I'm sure I have friends that do write, but, like, they're not friends that we get together and talk about writing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have, like, a group of people I can go to and be like, OMG, here's what's happening. Like, here's my writing struggles. And, like, we can have that camaraderie of togetherness of writing. Maybe. But then at the same time, I'm like, do you really need that? Like, it'd be nice. Don't get me wrong. I would love that. But, like, is that something you need in order to do this? And if so, like, what are you doing to get it? I don't know. I do not know. I do know I can talk. Oh my gosh, 31 minutes. Okay. That's alright. I got a lot to say. I don't really feel like I'm saying a whole lot of anything. I'm just kind of talking in circles, but it is what it is. And I should write, and I want to write. But am I gonna? Yes. You know what? Yes. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna say, oh, I want to write, but am I gonna? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Whenever I get done with this, whenever that is, I'm going to write. Period. If I write 10 words, you know what? There we go. That'd be 10 words. I'm not gonna say that's good, but it'd be 10 words. It'd be writing. It'd be something. I don't know. I just got a lot of thoughts, and you know, and I could even say, like, you know, people will say this about any kind of art, whether it's, you know, writing, making movies, drawing, sculpture, you know, whatever. You have to get lucky, and I think that does play a part in it. But obviously, you have to work hard, you have to get lucky, and you just have to keep going despite what everybody says, which is, you know, it's a 1 in a million type of thing. But, like, here's my thing. Do I believe that being a successful writer, artist, you know, whatever, is a 1 in a million kind of thing? Yeah, like, sure. But I don't find that scary. You know what I mean? Like, I find it intimidating, you know, to think, wow, 1 in a million. Okay. Low odds. But that to me is not like, oh, it's 1 in a million. Ooh, I'm not the one. Nope, I'm out. Like, I don't feel that way. I feel more like, wow, 1 in a million. Okay, how am I going to be the 1 in a million? Okay. All right, 1 in a million. Sure. Does that make sense? Like, it's intimidating to me, but it's not a full stop. I'm not like, ooh, 1 in a million. Okay. I'm not her. Like, I am of the belief I could be her. I could be the 1 in a million. I believe that. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way. I just truly mean that it could be me. Because why couldn't it? Why shouldn't it? Well, it shouldn't if I'm not willing to work hard. But, you know, in general, like, why couldn't it be me? Why shouldn't it be me? Why wouldn't it be me? You don't work hard. That's why. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not one of those people that somebody could say, oh, you really just shouldn't even try. Like, the odds are so low, just don't even try. Like, the odds are not the problem. You know? I'm the problem. Could I be the 1 in a million? Yeah. Who is standing in the way of me being the 1 in a million? Me. I'm the problem. I can be the 1 in a million if I would just get out of my own freaking way. I don't know. That's just how I feel, and I don't know. And I feel like now I look so, like, sad, and I'm not sad. I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too caught up in it. I don't know. I'm just in my own way. Do you ever get in your own way and you're like, why am I doing that? Especially when it's something that is just for you. Like, it's not like somebody's expecting you to do this. Somebody's like, oh, you need to do that. I'm really expecting you to do this. If you don't do this, I'm going to be disappointed. It's literally just you. I don't know. But I'm going to write. I think I'm going to end this here. This was nice. This was fun. I don't know really that I got a whole lot accomplished from it, but I feel better. So there's that. Not really a podcast, not really a vlog, not really much of anything other than me sitting in my office, which is the bedroom, talking to the camera, and I'm on my iPhone. And I got a selfie light. And the selfie light is up there, which is why it's kind of a little halo. Okay, it's cute, whatever. And I did try to flip the camera around, but I was like, I feel like that looks weird. I look funny. That's probably all in my head too, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway. Alright, well, I'm gonna put on a YouTube video, and I'm gonna write. And if I do a whole bunch of writing, there might be another clip in here that's like, I just did this much writing. And if I didn't, well, whatever. I'm going to. So we're not even gonna think about that, because I'm going to. Alright. I might do this again. Bye. It's been like an hour and a half, maybe. And I have written, oh gosh, I just had it pulled up, 1,307 words. There we go. More than 10. I'm happy with that.